Hey you guys, we are Breksir and well, the amazing guys from the Deaths Entertainment asked us to answer some questions, and well, we're really glad to be working with them. We really would like to thank them, for working with us, which is great. We're really excited. I'm Joe. I'm writing guitar, vocals.
Bruno, lead guitar.
I'm Beto, bass.
All right, and well, unfortunately, due to the whole pandemic situation, our drummer Jorge is not really here with us. He's going to be answering questions in a virtual way. So, well, still, the four of us are going to be here, far away, but close enough, right? So.
I started in music around 13 or 12 years ago. I started playing acoustic guitar, and my first song was More Than Words by Extreme, and it was very easy. But that was like the beginning, and after that, 1 year later, I started with electric guitar, and then I could not stop doing it. So how did I develop my sound? Well, mostly by making improvisation. I've been doing this like 3 or 4 years ago, and this has been very useful for my sound and my phrases, my musical phrases. So that's the way I've been developing my sound, and always looking for having a more warm tone on the amplifier that I am using. I am currently using Line 6 Spider 4 model and Dean B guitar from Dave Mustaine series.
Damn it. Well, I guess in my case, I started in music also like 13 years ago, I believe. Yeah, 13, 14 years ago I started in music. At first, I was a teenager. It's like the first teenager approach to guitar, and it's nothing like anybody takes really seriously, and until you start getting like good at it, or you're still getting serious, or you form a band, whatever. And I still remember my first song that I learned. It was it was Paranoid by Black Sabbath, right? It was like my first song. But what really got me into like music, like music itself. Playing guitar as I do it now, or in singing as I do it now, was of course Metallica. That was my first influence. That was what got me into singing, what got me into playing guitar, and yeah, that's what got me into there. At first, as I said before, it's a teenager approach. It's not something nobody takes really seriously until you start until you start seeing what you can do, right? Like seeing over there and what you can actually do. That's when you start taking it seriously. So I believe that, yeah, that's how I got into music, like by listening to more music, yeah.
And I also started when I was like, 10 years old or something. Actually, I started playing violin in an orchestra, so totally different. nothing like metal. But I started learning about all musical theory and everything, and lots of time later I started picking up, like most bass players, I started with guitar, and a few years ago, actually like 3 years ago, I switched to bass because, well, really I feel that there's lots of guitar players, and I wanted to do something a little bit more personal. So really that's the way that I started with music, that's the way that I started with bass, and now with my sound, I guess I'm trying to do something a little bit different than what's normally done with bass players, because I don't really like the part of just playing the bass note. I'm just learning also. I don't have that much experience with the bass, but what I'm trying to do is really start changing my sound a little bit more into not just a root note, outlining chords and things like that.
Well, at first our band was called Breksir, which is the Viking compass to not lose the good way. They say that in that way. But then we searched for the name of if it was registered for another band, and it was already registered. So we tried to change this name to Berkana, but this was also registered. So our drummer Jorge came with this idea of combining both names, so that's how we got Breksir, which would be like the combination of both meanings. For Berkana, it's to be very strong, in life to bloom to the life. So that's the meaning behind it.
Okay, well, I think it depends who you ask, but if I were to answer that question, what I want people to take from my music would be just the fact that I'm trying to transmit what I feel. I'm trying to transmit my energy. I'm trying to transmit that I love what I'm doing right here. There's nothing that I love more than playing music and singing. So that's what I want to transmit. That love and passion for music, right? And I want people to take that. I want people to take that music or the way that I do it here in the band, or what I do here in the band is playing guitar and singing. It can be taken as aggressive, but at the same time melodic. So it's this aggressiveness that is not negative. It's this aggressiveness that actually it's relieving and can take a lot from you. So I want people to take that from my music. That is just aggressiveness in a positive way, melody, and just energy, pure energy, healthy energy, and love and passion. That's what I want them to take. Yeah.
I don't know, I will say all our music because I think it's amazing. We love to make new music. But I will say our lyrics because I think the lyrics are sometimes the soul of the song. I think that's important, and maybe sometimes the most important in the composition.
Well, I think what we're trying to do here with our band is really mix all of our different influences together. You know, you'll have a little bit of thrash, a little bit of death, you know, and what we're trying to do is make all these different genres combine into what we want to make it, you know. So definitely what you'll hear with our music is maybe you'll be able to recognize a certain genre of metal, maybe with one section of a song, and then the next section it'll be a little bit different, so it'll be like a mix of different genres. And we try to, well, obviously the four of us, we try to give all of our ideas into one music, into one song, and then we'll combine it, and you know, sort of like, wow, okay, that's our music. That's what we're trying to communicate with you guys, and we're really happy about the results that we've had so far.
I could say that it ranged from classic thrash to a little death metal in the upcoming songs. So keep listening.
For me, my current favorite band, Revocation, that would be very awesome.
Trivium, no doubt. I want to tour with those guys. If you guys see this, I love you.
And I actually would like to tour with some Australian band which is named Caligula's Horse. So that'd be great.
Good.
Pretty hard question, but I will choose Slipknot, Lamb of God, and more Mexican metal bands. It's pretty hard because I don't have just 3 favorite albums. I will choose Subliminal Verses from Slipknot because I love Slipknot. A Sacrament from Lamb of God because it is a very good album. And one of my favorite bands, yeah, it's Bon Jovi, so I will choose Slippery When Wet. So that's all.
Okay.
3 each or 1 each?
1 each.
Well, for me, definitely it would be Deathless by Revocation. Pretty good album, pretty fucking good album.
I don't know.
Amazing.
I cannot make this decision on my own. Right now, I would say I'm really in love with the new Trivium album. You know, What the Dead Men Say. I'm in love with that album, so I would say I would take that one. Yeah.
And definitely for me it would be In Contact by Caligula's Horse, which is also a great album.
Okay. I will take this question onto my first two bands, Megadeth and Metallica, as my favorites. Because, for example, in Megadeth we have Marty Friedman, which is one of the best guitarists on the world. Not only for his technique, but also for his music, for his way of doing music. So I think bands like Revocation and Black Dahlia Murder, for example, which are my favorites right now, has been evolving these aspects of music, technique, and also combining different genres. For example, death, thrash, heavy. So I think my take on this matter would be like the evolution of metal is being very big and very beautiful, if you ask me. So that's all.
I would say my take on it would be I believe it's taken more seriously. It has gained like bigger importance in the world right now in the music industry. Metal has been gaining this importance that probably in the 2000s decade they didn't have it, or they did, but it was so underground or so simple. I mean, as Bruno was saying, I mean the technique is different. The technical melodies and everything, I mean everything's different. So I believe my take on it is gaining more seriousness, more importance in the world, in the music industry right now, and I love that because I believe that's something that we were missing. We are right now in a great time to make metal. Yeah.
Well, I think that currently we have tons and tons of bands making music here in Mexico. Obviously, I don't know if you've heard of them because, to be honest, I feel that one of the main problems is that of the lots of bands that we have, really a few of them make it to the international scene. So we have a lot of people listening to them here in Mexico, but really they don't only get to other countries too often, especially if they're making music in Spanish. Because to be honest, it's a little bit difficult to get them out of the country if they're only making music in Spanish. And I know that there's tons of different genres. We have a great jazz scene, great metal scene, indie sort of happening now. Maybe not too much experimental music, but definitely what I think would help if people would really have the courage to make their music heard in other countries. I think that will help. And also, lots of times we have lots of problems with cover bands. When you're trying to get a gig, lots of places will ask you which covers you're gonna be playing, and it's difficult for a band with original music to really get themselves be heard. So it really would help if people would have like a more open mind with all the original music, and really just enjoy what people can make and listen to new things.
Talking about that, I think nowadays it is not necessary because we can listen to music for free in YouTube for all around the world. So you need to download illegal music. Maybe if you like the band, you can pay Spotify, pay YouTube Music, and you can listen to your favorite band.
I personally, I think every musician would say that. I'm against illegal downloading because it actually affects us as musicians. I'm gonna sound really Lars Soderberg here, but I support that guy because he knew what was going. He knew what was coming. He knew what was coming. He tried to warn us, and everybody said he was the bad guy for Metallica, right? So, but he knew it, and he was right. If you like a band, and if you are a fan of that band, then you should support that band. It's like buying clothes. I mean, it's like buying food. If you like some food, I mean, you just go and support them by buying them food, right? And you feed yourself with that food. It's the same with music. I mean, you like the music, you like the band, go and support them, and you feed your soul, you feel your body with that music, and you actually feed those guys in the band, right? So I would say I'm against it.
Right YouTube channel. If you haven't already, go check it out. We have a few cover songs and original recordings as well. We know they're all home recorded, so you know the quality is not the best. But what we want to do in the near future is go to a studio, professional studio, record our songs, maybe have a few of them available on Spotify, you know, as singles. And then we're working on 2 new songs in the next few weeks. Hopefully we'll have, I don't know, periodic recording sessions so we can get a full-length album. And so that's the next steps, you know. First, get started on these new songs. In the meantime, professionally record the ones that we already have. And then by the time we're finished with the new songs, get together a full-length album to have our first full-length album.
To the guys from the Death Entertainment, if we were to make a shout out right now, it would be to you guys, because well, you gave us a chance to actually, you know, be here talking about our band, talking about what we do, and the shout out is for you. And if we were to make another shout out, it would be to the people who has been supportive to us. We really appreciate it. And well, guys, you guys from the Death Entertainment, well, we shout out to you. All right, thank you guys, really appreciate it. And I believe that was the last one, right?
Yeah, that was the last one.
All right. So, well, thank you guys. We've been Breksir here. We really appreciate you. And go check out, as Beto said it right now, I mean, if you haven't, go check out our YouTube channel. You can just find it as Breksir Band. You can go check out our social media platforms right here in Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We're all there. Okay, so go check us out and stay tuned. We really appreciate it. And rock on.